Oh, what you guys are watching is perhaps the most broken champion of Season 11 in action, Camille. And the man behind this carnage is Damwon Kiz's top laner Khan, and we ain't talking Genghis. I had to do that, I'm sorry. So in today's video, the Jizz is going to teach you how you can abuse Camille until Season 11 ends, which is only a couple of weeks away, but don't think, oh, it's a Camille video. It won't be useful to you. If you play top lane, some of the tips and tricks we talk about, you can apply to any champion, and even if you never play top lane, you can still make use of these techniques on your champion and role of choice. So make sure you stick around because there are so many sick outplays in this game, and to make sure you don't miss any of our preseason content, which is just around the corner, hit that subscribe button below and let's get into it. So in this game, Khan knows that the enemy Lee Sin and Akshan are starting at his side's red buff. So what he's going to do is wait in his tri-brush, and this allows him to get the jump onto Akshan. So he uses his W, then auto attacks to get his passive shield, and auto attacks 2 more times to proc his Grasp the Undying. This type of trade works because Khan is playing around his cooldowns, his W and his passive, and it also works because he knows Akshan can't do that much to him. If Akshan was a different champion, though maybe a Darius, this would be very risky to do. So make sure you do this into weaker level 1 champions. Now speaking of cooldowns, when Khan's W comes back up, he's going to fish for his W and then land it onto Akshan. But notice, because Akshan is a ranged champion, Khan can't really afford these long trades just because as a level 1 Camille, you're going to take way too much damage. So he retreats immediately and then gets back to hitting the wave. This is really important for Khan in this lane because it allows him to hit level 2 at roughly the same time as Akshan. So in terms of power in this lane, it's still very even. And you're going to notice that when Khan has his W and then he skills his Q, he ends up taking what looks like a pretty risky trade into Akshan here. But the reason this isn't actually that bad is because when Khan trades, he has his passive available, and by auto-attacking like this close to Akshan's minions, these minions are hitting Khan, which means they're not hitting the wave, and this in turn pushes the wave into Akshan, which sounds bad, but if you have the push, this means you have more minions. So if Khan and Akshan were to trade again near this minion wave, Khan is most likely going to win just because he has that surplus. Now in the aftermath of this, Khan is playing passive, but why would he be doing this? Well, the answer to this question, guys, is always, I don't care what lane you're playing or champion, your cooldowns. Look at the bottom left. Khan doesn't have his passive, doesn't have his W, all he has is his Grasp the Undying proc and his Q. But then his W comes off cooldown, and this is when he tries to hit Akshan, but I think he can wait just a second or two here until Akshan tries to last hit this cannon minion. This would give Khan a better chance of landing his W, but even though he misses this, he is going to solo kill Akshan in this next play of the game. And what starts this off, guys, is just the fact that Akshan is around half HP, and Khan knows that with Ignite, he easily has enough damage to take his opponent down, even without his W. Now he waits for his Q to come off cooldown, and he hookshots to the closest wall to Akshan, rebounds off of it and stuns him, auto attack, Qs, auto attacks, and then Qs again with his Ignite going, and that is a free kill. And it just goes to show you how important it is to count your own cooldowns and to play around them. Now what would you do after this? Because most people are going to shove this wave, which makes sense, right? Because Akshan just died. If you can shove this wave under his tower, he's going to miss all of these minions. But Akshan has TP, so Khan should really recall himself and TP back to the lane, and at that point he would also have his Sheen. But the reason he stays in lane here, guys, is simply because there's another champion on the map near his lane, and this is his jungler Viego, and you can see that Khan is going to ping on the way here, almost suggesting to Viego, hey bro, come top, there is a free kill here. So Khan is going to bait Akshan by moving into this brush towards his jungler, and unfortunately for Akshan, he falls for this bait and ends up dying. So this is one trick you can do, guys. When the enemy top laner dies early on, you know they're going to TP back to the top lane, so ask your jungler to come top and kill them as soon as they TP back to lane. Now after this, of course, Khan is going to shove this wave, but if Viego doesn't help him here, he should ping. So make sure you do the same in your games. The quicker you shove with your jungler's help, the more time you have to do other things. No one wants to stay in lane and push minions all day. Now I'm going to forward it here, guys, and what you're going to see is Khan outplaying this Lee Sin so badly that I don't think this Lee Sin will touch the game until next season. So Khan continues playing the lane much the same, and all of a sudden, the enemy Lee Sin shows in the top lane. So Khan is going to W to slow the Lee Sin, and as soon as Akshan moves up, he knows he can't 1v2 these two champions. This is when he's going to use his escape, and he almost ends up killing the Lee Sin. But here comes one of the sickest outplay, guys. So Khan is actually going to bait this Lee Sin into jumping onto him here. Now if Lee Sin is really close in this brush, guess what? Khan can just use his Ignite and his Q and Lee Sin would 100% die. But he's playing really aggressively and almost baiting Lee Sin because his hookshot is about to come off cooldown. So when Lee Sin lands his Q, Khan is going to E to the wall and just hold on to his second hookshot. Then when Lee Sin actually comes flying towards him, Khan is going to rebound off the wall, stun the Lee Sin and gets a kill and also blue buff. So if you enjoyed that mechanic, let us know by leaving a like down below. And And then Akshan's like, oh, you know what? I'm just going to join the party here and give Khan another kill. And it might look a little scary for Khan when Akshan flies at him, but look in the bottom left, he has pretty much every cooldown apart from his E, but he doesn't even need this. He traps him in tower range, and this is one of the most troll kills I've seen. So after these kills, Khan is eventually going to shove the wave, and then he's going to roam down to the river here. Now this roam makes total sense because his Viego and Alistair are here, so he knows that Alistair is bringing the CC and also Viego. So if they're able to catch the enemy Lee Sin just like they do, there's a very good chance that Khan's roam is profitable and he picks up another kill. So at this point in the game, he is 5-0 and in such a strong position, but I just want to skip guys for some of these mid-game fights because Khan does actually threaten to throw this game, so I want to show you so you don't do the same. Now the first real throw of his lead comes at this point right here. He knows that this fight is lost, so what Khan is going to do is look for a recall spot, but this recall spot is so troll because the enemy minions are going to spot him recalling here, and Lee Sin and Galio can see this over the wall and they end up turret diving him and getting a massive shutdown. So where Khan should have ran is probably in between these two towers here because the enemy minion wave would not have seen him. So always try to recall guys in a safe position where the enemy cannot see you, especially if there's multiple enemy champions near your lane. But thankfully after TPing, Khan is able to track this Akshan down and kill him, and he's going to solo kill Akshan again when he comes back to the lane, and this is really smart. So after pushing this wave to the tower, he's going to run as if he was going towards the river here. So Akshan is probably thinking, oh, Camille's going down the river somewhere, who cares about this? This lane is free for me to walk into. But here's the thing guys, Khan is actually going to rotate his movement towards these top brushes, and this baits Akshan into a false sense of security. So Akshan, when he goes in this brush, never expects Khan to W and slow him, and because Khan already has his Triforce and is in such a strong position, he's able to one-shot the Akshan. And it's also important to note here guys that Khan saves his second Q, which is going to do the most damage after Akshan's shield expires. You always want your main source of damage to hit the enemy where it hurts. But even after being 8-1, there is still a chance the enemy team can come back in this game. So when Khan is playing around the top side here and almost baiting the enemy champions into fighting, the reason for this is simply because Viego is the only one here. So in terms of numbers, the red team only has 2 champions, whereas the enemy team has 3 to 4 champions very close nearby. And because Viego dies so quickly here, the blue team is in a 4v3 here, and it doesn't matter if Khan has a major item on everyone else. All you have to do is just respect the numbers, and the same thing is going to happen here guys when Khan goes back to the bot lane. For some reason, he's going to take on this fight when Galio appears and then Katarina appears as well. He can probably just escape this by running back. Now the reason this is a throw is simply because his teammates aren't getting anything on the map. So what is Khan really dying for? Nothing. The chances of him outplaying 3 champions, yes okay, he might be able to, but they're very slim. And in this game, his team really isn't doing that well. So throwing like this when you're the only one who's super fed can be a really bad habit. But all of a sudden guys, Lee Sin is going to get caught out. Now can you see the difference between this play and the play that happened on the top side of the map when Viego and Camille died? Well, there's 4 red champions here, not just 2. So when Khan ults in, he's got the backup of his team, and just because the numbers of the teams are a lot more even, this play ends up working out. And I'm going to show you another similar situation guys, which just goes to show you how important it is to respect the numbers on the map. So in this scenario, we can see that there are 4 red champions near Khan, and when Galio wastes his E, there's no real worry for Khan here, especially when his Alistair is nearby. Now thankfully his team kinda catches out Kai'Sa, and then Alistair makes a really good engage. Khan can obviously work off the back of this, and he ends up picking a triple kill here, and it's really good how he uses his ultimate on a mobile champion like Katarina to lock her in place, but mechanically there's nothing really special here. He's just playing where his teammates are, and he's respecting the numbers on the map. This ends up leading to a Baron, and at this point in the game guys, the game is as good as over, so I'm going to skip to all those highlights at the end, which just go to show you how broken this champion is in the late game. But if you want more champion courses, champion guides, VOD analyses of the best players in the world, guys, please make sure to check out the website linked in the description and comment section. Our challenger players and coaches are uploading so many videos a week for our subscribers, so to get that access that will help you improve and achieve your rank goals, hopefully by Season 11's end, make sure you sign up, and until tomorrow's video, this has been legit.